The massive space station called Nexus hung in the darkness between stars like a giant metal flower. Ships from across the galaxy docked at its many arms. Tall blue aliens with 4 arms walked beside short purple creatures with too many eyes. Everyone came to Nexus to trade, make deals, and share news from their homeworlds. Captain Kim Woo stood at the window of his ship and watched the busy station. His vessel, the HSS Dauntless, looked small and plain next to the other ships. The alien warships gleamed with bright colors and strange shapes. Some were as long as city blocks. Others floated like crystals made of light. His ship looked like a gray metal box with engines stuck on the back. "Captain, the docking fees are paid," said Park Hana, his chief engineer. She was a small woman with quick hands and bright eyes. The station master seemed surprised we could afford them. Kim nodded. He had heard the whispers as they flew in. Other ship captains laughed at the human vessel. They called it ugly. They said it looked like it might fall apart. Some wondered if humans even knew how to build real spaceships. Lee Tae, the weapons officer, walked up to them. He was young but serious, always checking his equipment. "Sir, I'm getting strange readings from some of the bigger ships. Their weapons are really powerful." "How powerful?" Kim asked. "Enough to blow up a small moon," Lee said quietly. Park Hana made a face. "Good thing we're not a small moon." Through the window, they watched a group of new ships arrive. These were different from the others. They were black as space itself and shaped like knives. Each one was huge, bigger than 3 human ships put together. Red lights ran along their sides like veins filled with fire. "Caliph Empire ships," said Choi Min, the tactical officer. She had been studying alien races for years. They've been taking over star systems all across this part of the galaxy. Yoon Sol, who handled communications, looked worried. "I'm hearing chatter from the other ships. Everyone's scared. The Caliph don't just trade. They take what they want, Dr. Seo Bin, the science officer, adjusted his glasses. "I count 37 Caliph ships. That's enough firepower to destroy this entire station." Namji, the ship's doctor, shook her head. "Why would they bring so many ships to a trading station?" "Because they're not here to trade," Kim said. The Caliph ships moved into formation around Nexus Station. Each one was bristling with weapons. Gun barrels as thick as train cars pointed in every direction. The alien ships already docked at the station seemed to shrink away from the newcomers. A message came through on all frequencies. The voice was deep and harsh, speaking in the common galactic language. "I am Admiral Vextar of the Caliph Empire. All ships will prepare for inspection. Any vessel carrying valuable cargo will surrender half of it as tribute. This is not a request." The docked ships immediately began preparing their cargo holds. Nobody argued with the Caliph Empire. They were known across the galaxy for their cruelty. Entire planets had been burned for refusing their demands. Young Officer Kang Do looked nervous. "Captain, should we start preparing our cargo manifest?" Kim smiled. "No, Kang Do. We won't be paying any tribute today." The bridge crew exchanged glances. Park Hana grinned. Lee Tae's hand moved closer to his weapon controls. They had all been waiting for this moment. Admiral Vexitar's ship was the largest of the Caliph fleet. It looked like a black mountain with engines. The front was covered in armor thick enough to stop any normal weapon. As the Admiral's message ended, his ship moved closer to the human vessel. "Attention, human ship," came another transmission. This time the voice was full of amusement. "Your vessel appears to be very old, very weak. Perhaps you did not understand my message about tribute." Kim picked up the communication device. "This is Captain Kim Woo of the human ship Dauntless. We understand your message perfectly. The answer is no." Silence filled the communication channel. Then Admiral Vextar began to laugh. It was not a pleasant sound. "Human, your little metal box cannot protect you from my fleet. Look around you. Count my ships. Each one carries enough firepower to turn your vessel into space dust." "I can see them," Kim replied calmly. 37 ships. Very impressive. "Then you understand that resistance is impossible. Prepare your cargo holds for inspection." "I'm afraid that won't be happening." The laughter stopped. "Human, Are you damaged in the head? Do you not understand what happens to those who refuse the Keleth Empire? Other ships around the station began moving away from the Dauntless. Their captains did not want to be caught in the crossfire when the Keleth destroyed the foolish humans. Some sent private messages to the human ship, begging them to reconsider. Captain. Kim looked at his crew. Each face showed the same expression. They were ready. Park Hana ran her fingers over a hidden control panel. All systems are standing by, Captain. Li Tae checked readings that no other species in the galaxy could understand. Weapons are ready, sir. Choi Min studied the positions of every Keleth ship. I have tactical solutions for all 37 targets. Dr. Seo Bin monitored systems that officially did not exist. All experimental equipment is online and functioning normally. Yoon Sol prepared communication arrays that could do much more than just send messages. Ready to begin electronic warfare on your order, Captain. Namji made sure the medical bay was ready, even though she doubted they would need it. Medical facilities prepared for any casualties. Kang Do, the youngest member of the crew, felt his heart beating fast. He had joined this crew 6 months ago but still did not know all their secrets. He knew the ship was special, but he was about to learn just how special. Admiral Vextar's patience was ending. Human Captain, you have 10 minutes to begin preparing your cargo for transfer. After that, my ships will open fire. I will give you one chance to watch your vessel die slowly, or you can surrender now and die quickly. Kim set down the communication device and walked to his captain's chair. It looked like any other chair, but when he sat down, hidden displays came to life around him. Information flowed across screens that seemed to appear from nowhere. Park Hana, bring all systems to full power, he ordered. Yes, sir. Quantum generators coming online. Li Tae, prepare all weapon systems. Weapons charging, Captain. All targeting systems active. Choi Min, begin tactical analysis. Already done, sir. I have attack patterns ready for immediate execution. The Dauntless began to change. To outside observers, it looked the same. But inside the ship, technology that was decades ahead of anything else in the galaxy hummed to life. The walls themselves became part of the ship's systems. The engines stopped using normal fuel and switched to power sources that most species thought were impossible. Other ship captains around the station sent frantic messages to the humans. A Vorthon captain transmitted, "Human ship, you must surrender. The Keleth will destroy everything if you resist." A Kalari trader added her voice. "Please, we have families on this station, don't make them angry." Captain Kim opened a channel to all ships in the area. To all vessels near Nexus Station, you may want to move to a safe distance. Things are about to get interesting. Admiral Vextar's ship moved closer to the Dauntless. The Keleth admiral wanted to watch the human ship's destruction up close. His vessel was 10 times larger than the human ship and covered in weapons. Any normal vessel would already be surrendering in terror. "Time is up, human," Admiral Vextar announced. "Since you choose to be stubborn, you will die slowly. My gunners will take their time. Perhaps others will learn from your mistake." The Keleth ships began moving into attack formation, their weapons powered up with sounds like thunder. Energy readings around the station spiked as massive gun batteries prepared to fire. Li Tae looked at his captain. "Sir, they're about to open fire." "I can see that," Kim replied. He seemed completely calm. "Are our defenses ready?" "All defensive systems online and waiting." "Good. Let's show them what humans can really do." The first Keleth ship fired. A beam of energy bright enough to blind anyone who looked directly at it shot toward the Dauntless. It was followed by dozens more beams from other ships. The combined firepower was enough to destroy a small city, but something impossible happened. The beams passed right through the human ship as if it were not there. The Dauntless flickered like a ghost, then became solid again. Admiral Vextar stared at his screens. What just happened? Did they phase through our weapons? His tactical officer checked the readings 3 times. "Sir, I don't understand these numbers. According to our sensors, the human ship exists and does not exist at the same time. That's impossible." "Yes, sir. It should be impossible." Captain Kim smiled. "Li Tae, I think it's time to return fire. With pleasure, Captain. The Dauntless had weapons, but they did not look like any weapons the galaxy had ever seen. No large gun barrels, no missile tubes, just small sections of the hull that began to glow with a soft blue light. What happened next would be talked about for generations. A beam of light shot from the human ship and struck the nearest Kaleth vessel. The massive warship simply vanished. Not destroyed, not broken apart, just gone. One moment it was there, the next moment there was only empty space. The other Kaleth ship stopped firing. Their crews stared at the empty space where their sister ship had been. Where did it go? Admiral Vextar demanded. Unknown, sir. It just stopped existing. Captain Kim opened a communication channel to the K. The silence around Nexus Station was broken only by the hum of life support systems and the distant chatter of confused alien voices. Captain Kim Woo walked through the corridors of his ship as his crew began the process of standing down from combat. To anyone looking at the Dauntless from outside, it appeared to be just another human vessel, unremarkable and plain. But Kim knew the truth about what lay beneath the ordinary metal hull. Captain, called Dr. Seo Bin from his science station, I'm getting dozens of scan attempts from the other ships. They're trying to figure out what we are. Let them look, Kim replied. They won't find anything they can understand. Young officer. Kangdo was still staring at the tactical display, which showed empty space where 37 Kaleth warships had been just minutes before. Sir, I don't understand what happened. How did we destroy all those ships? Our weapons look so small compared to theirs. Kim sat down next to the young man. Kangdo, how long have you been on this ship? 6 months, Captain. And in that time, what have you learned about human technology? Kangdo thought for a moment. That it's different from what other species use. But I thought that meant it was less advanced. Park Hana laughed from her engineering station. Less advanced? Kid, you have no idea what you've been flying around in. She stood up and walked over to them. Captain, I think it's time our newest crew member learned the truth about the Dauntless. Kim nodded. You're right. Follow me, Kangdo. It's time you understood what kind of ship you're serving on. They walked deeper into the ship, past areas that Kangdo had seen many times before. But now Park Hana began touching panels that looked like part of the wall. As her fingers moved across them, hidden sections opened up, revealing corridors and rooms that Kangdo had never known existed. The ship is bigger on the inside than on the outside, Park Hana explained. Quantum folding technology. We can fit the interior of a battleship into the space of a frigate. They entered what Kangdo had always thought was a storage room. Park Hana placed her hand on a scanner, and the walls transformed. What had looked like metal storage containers were actually sophisticated control panels. Displays showed information about systems that Kangdo could not even pronounce. This is the real engineering section, Park Hana said. What you've been seeing for 6 months is just the cover story. Dr. Seo Bin joined them, his face serious. Kangdo, what I'm about to tell you is classified at the highest levels of human government. The Dauntless is not just a ship. It's a test platform for technology that is decades ahead of anything else in the galaxy. But it looks so ordinary. Kangdo protested. That's the point, Captain Kim said. Humans learned long ago that it's better to be underestimated than feared. We let other species think we're primitive while we develop technology they can't imagine. Park Hana began activating systems, and Kangdo watched in amazement as the room around them came alive. These are quantum phase generators, she explained, pointing to devices that seemed to shift and change as he looked at them. They allow us to exist in multiple dimensions at the same time. That's how we avoided the Kaleth weapons. We were only partially in normal space when they fired. The hull itself is made of adaptive metamaterial, Dr. Seo Bin added. It can change its properties instantly. One moment it's solid armor, the next it's transparent to energy weapons. Then it becomes a perfect mirror that reflects attacks back at our enemies. Captain Kim led them to another section of the hidden areas. Our weapons don't work like anything else in the galaxy. Instead of throwing energy or matter at our targets, We manipulate the fundamental forces that hold atoms together. We don't destroy enemy ships, we convince their atoms to stop being a ship. Kang Do felt dizzy. How is any of this possible? Why don't other species have technology like this? Because they all developed along the same paths, Park Hana said. Bigger ships, more powerful engines, stronger weapons, humans went a different way. We focused on understanding the universe itself instead of just building bigger guns. Dr. Seo Bin brought up a holographic display that showed the development of human technology over the past century. When we first made contact with alien species, we realized we were far behind in conventional technology. So we didn't try to catch up. We leapfrogged over conventional technology entirely. The display showed research stations hidden throughout human space, scientists working on projects that pushed the boundaries of physics itself. While other species were building dreadnoughts, we were learning to manipulate space and time. While they developed better shields, we learned to exist outside normal reality. Captain Kim watched Kang Do process this information. The Dauntless is one of 12 ships like her. Each one is crewed by people who have sworn to keep humanity's secrets. We're not here to conquer anyone. We're here to make sure that no one ever conquers us. They moved to the Weapons Control Center, where Li Tae was running diagnostics on systems that looked nothing like conventional weapons. Each of our quantum disruptors can eliminate a target by convincing the universe that it never existed, he explained. It's not destruction. It's more like editing reality. The enemy ships didn't explode, Choi Min added, looking up from her tactical station. They simply stopped being ships and started being empty space. From the universe's perspective, they were never there at all. Kang Do shook his head. This is impossible. It goes against everything I learned about physics. Old physics, Dr. Seo Bin corrected. Human scientists discovered that the universe is much stranger than anyone thought. Reality is more like a suggestion than a law. If you know how to ask nicely, the universe will change its mind about things. They returned to the bridge where the normal-looking control panels hid the true nature of the ship's capabilities. Through the windows, Kang Do could see other vessels at Nexus Station keeping their distance from the Dauntless. Word of what had happened was spreading quickly. Sir, said Yoon Sol from communications, I'm intercepting messages between the alien ships. They're calling us everything from demons to gods. Some species are requesting immediate diplomatic contact with Earth, and some are planning to attack our colonies before we can deploy more ships like the Dauntless, Choi Min reported from her intelligence station. Captain Kim nodded. That's exactly what we expected. Fear makes some species smart and others stupid. Yunsol, prepare a message for transmission on all galactic frequencies. Yes, sir. What should it say? Kim thought for a moment. Tell them that the ship they just saw in action is a standard patrol vessel of the human space navy. Tell them that Earth has no interest in conquest or expansion, but any attack on human colonies or shipping will be met with immediate retaliation. Should I mention that we have 11 more ships like this one? Yunsol asked. No. Let them wonder how many we have. Uncertainty is more frightening than facts. Dr. Seo Bin pulled up a star chart showing the locations of the other 11 ships like the Dauntless. Each one was stationed in a different sector of space disguised as ordinary patrol vessels. The Kalari Empire has been testing our borders for months. The Zephyrians have been demanding tribute from human traders. After today, I don't think they'll be quite so bold. Park Hana returned to her engineering station and began preparing the ship for departure. Captain, should I bring the quantum drives online? Not yet. Let's see what happens next. They did not have to wait long. A new ship appeared at the edge of the system, moving faster than anything Kang Do had ever seen. It was sleek and beautiful, made of what looked like liquid, silver. As it approached Nexus Station, it transmitted identification codes that made several alien crews panic. That's a hegemony dreadnought, Choi Min reported. The Silver Dawn. They must have detected the energy signatures from our weapons. The hegemony was one of the oldest and most powerful civilizations in the galaxy. Their ships were works of art, but they were also incredibly dangerous. The Silver Dawn was larger than any of the Kaleth ships had been, and its weapons were legendary. "Attention, all vessels," came a transmission from the hegemony ship. The voice was cold and musical at the same time. "This is Commander Zaltara of the Hegemony Navy. We detected unauthorized use of reality manipulation technology in this system. All ships will submit to immediate inspection." Captain Kim smiled. "It seems our demonstration attracted some attention." "Should we prepare for battle?" Li Te asked. "Not yet. Let's see what they want." The Silver Dawn moved closer to the Dauntless, its sensors working overtime to analyze the human ship, but the scans found nothing unusual. The Dauntless appeared to be exactly what it looked like, an ordinary frigate with basic weapons and standard engines. "Human vessel," Commander Zaltara transmitted directly to the Dauntless. "Our sensors detected massive reality distortions centered on your position. Explain this immediately." Kim picked up the communication device. "Commander, this is Captain C. Kim Wu. I'm not sure what distortions you're referring to. We just finished dealing with some pirates who were threatening the station." "Pirates?" "Our records show that 37 Kaleth Empire warships were destroyed in this location within the past hour. Are you claiming that your single frigate eliminated an entire battle fleet?" "I'm claiming that the pirates are gone and the station is safe." There was a long pause. "Captain Kim, the hyperspace tunnel collapsed behind the Dauntless as it emerged in the Kepler Drift, a region of space known for its asteroid fields and hidden pirate bases." Captain Kim Wu stood on the bridge, watching the swirling debris fields that stretched in every direction. This area had been a problem for human shipping for months, but today that was going to change. "Captain," reported Choi Min from her tactical station, "I'm detecting at least 15 ships hiding in the asteroid field. Their engine signatures match known pirate vessels." "What types of ships?" Kim asked. "Mixed fleet. Looks like stolen military. Vessels from at least 6 different species. 2 Vorthon destroyers, several Kalari raiders, and what appears to be a modified hegemony cruiser." Li Te looked up from his weapons console. "Sir, that cruiser is broadcasting Crimson Fleet identification codes. They're some of the most dangerous pirates in this sector." Dr. Seo Bin adjusted his sensors to penetrate deeper into the asteroid field. "I'm reading signs of a major base inside the largest asteroid cluster. Looks like they've been busy building themselves a fortress." Kang Do, still adjusting to the reality of what the Dauntless really was, studied the tactical displays. "How do pirates get their hands on military ships like those?" "They steal them," Namji answered from her medical station. "The Crimson Fleet is known for attacking military convoys and enslaving the crews. They've been operating in this region for over 3 years." Captain Kim walked to the center of the bridge, where holographic displays showed the positions of all hostile ships. "Yunsol, any communication from the pirates?" "Not yet, sir, but I'm monitoring their internal chatter. They've detected us and they're laughing about how easy this is going to be." "What are they saying?" Yunsol translated the alien languages flowing through their communication systems. "The captain of the hegemony cruiser is telling his fleet that humans always carry valuable technology. He's planning to capture us alive so they can torture the crew for information about Earth's defenses." Park Hana shook her head. "They really have no idea what they're dealing with." "Should we try to warn them off?" Kang Do asked. Captain Kim considered this. "We could. But these pirates have been attacking civilian ships for years. How many innocent people do you think they've killed?" "According to our intelligence files," Choi Min reported, "the Crimson Fleet has destroyed over 200 civilian vessels in the past year alone. They don't take prisoners unless they think someone has valuable information. Then we won't be offering them the chance to surrender," Kim decided. The first pirate ship emerged from the asteroid field like a predator stalking prey. It was a Vorthon destroyer, its hull painted blood red with skull markings. The ship was 3 times the size of the Dauntless and bristling with weapons that had been stolen from a dozen different military forces. "Human ship," came a transmission filled with cruel laughter. "This is Captain Korvash of the Crimson Fleet. You have entered our territory. Prepare to be boarded. If you cooperate, we might let some of you live long enough to tell us about your homeworld's defenses." Captain Kim picked up the communication device. This is Captain Kim Woo of the Human Space Navy. You are ordered to surrender immediately and release any prisoners you may be holding. The laughter on the communication channel grew louder. Human fool, do you see the ships around you? We have 15 warships to your one little patrol boat. Perhaps we should keep you alive just for entertainment. More pirate ships began emerging from the asteroids. The modified hegemony cruiser was massive, nearly as large as the Silver Dawn they had encountered at Nexus Station. Its weapons had been upgraded with technology stolen from a dozen different species, making it a deadly hybrid of the galaxy's most dangerous weapons. Captain, Li Tay reported. They're powering up weapons across the entire fleet. Looks like they plan to disable us with precision shots to our engines. How thoughtful of them, Kim replied. Park Hana, bring all systems online. Yes, sir. Quantum phase generators spinning up. Reality anchors ready for deployment. Dr. SEO. Bin monitored the advanced systems that made the Dauntless far more than it appeared. All experimental equipment is functioning normally. Quantum disruptors are charged and ready. The pirate fleet moved into attack formation, their ships spreading out to surround the lone human vessel. To them, this was just another routine attack on a helpless merchant ship. They had no idea they were about to face technology that could rewrite the laws of physics. Human Captain, Captain Korvash transmitted. You have 30 seconds to power down your engines and prepare for boarding. After that, we start shooting. Kim looked around at his crew. Each person was calm and ready, their hands moving over controls that managed impossible technology. Li Tay, target the largest ship first. The hegemony cruiser, sir? That one should make the biggest impression. The 30 seconds passed in silence. Then every pirate ship opened fire at once. Energy beams, plasma bolts, and kinetic projectiles filled the space around the Dauntless. It was enough firepower to destroy a small space station, but the human ship was no longer entirely in normal space. As the weapons fired, the Dauntless phased into quantum dimensions that existed between reality and possibility. The pirate weapons passed through empty space, hitting nothing but vacuum. What just happened? Captain Korvash screamed over the communication channel. Where did they go? His tactical officer checked the sensors 3 times. Sir, the human ship is still there, but it's also not there. Our weapons can't lock onto something that exists in multiple dimensions at once. The Dauntless flickered, back into normal space, its hull shimmering with energy fields that made it appear almost ghostly. Li Tay had locked onto the pirate cruiser, with weapons that worked by convincing reality to change its mind about what existed and what didn't. Firing quantum disruptor, Li Tay announced. A beam of blue light shot from the Dauntless toward the massive pirate cruiser. But this was not destruction in any conventional sense. The beam touched the enemy ship and began unmaking it from the atomic level up. The cruiser didn't explode or break apart. It simply stopped being a ship and became empty space instead. The pirate fleet fell silent as they watched their flagship vanish as if it had never existed. There was no debris, no explosion, no sign that a massive warship had ever been there. Impossible, whispered one of the pirate captains. They erased the Crimson Star, another voice said in shock. How do you erase a ship? Captain Kim opened a communication channel to the remaining pirates. This is your only warning. Surrender now or join your flagship in non-existence. Captain Korvash was no longer laughing. His voice shook as he tried to understand what he had witnessed. Human? What kind of weapons are those? The kind that make your threats meaningless. The pirates tried to regroup, but their formation was already falling apart. Half their captains wanted to flee immediately, while the others couldn't accept that a single human ship had just eliminated their most powerful vessel. All ships concentrate fire on the human vessel, Captain Korvash ordered. They can't phase out of all our attacks. The remaining 14 pirate ships opened fire again, this time trying to overwhelm the Dauntless with sheer volume of weapons fire. Hundreds of energy beams and projectiles filled the space around the human ship. But the Dauntless was no longer fighting like a normal vessel. Park Hana had activated quantum navigation systems that allowed the ship to exist in several locations simultaneously. From the pirates' perspective, there were suddenly multiple human ships flickering in and out of reality. Target the real one, a pirate captain shouted. Which one is real? his gunner replied. The answer was that they were all real, and none of them were. The Dauntless existed in a state of quantum superposition, making it impossible for conventional weapons to target effectively. Meanwhile, Li Te began systematically eliminating the pirate ships one by one. Each shot from the quantum disruptors was perfectly placed. A Vorthon destroyer suddenly wasn't there anymore. A Kalari raider stopped, existing between 1 second and the next. The pirates watched in growing terror as their fleet vanished ship by ship. "This is impossible," Captain Korvash transmitted. "No species has technology like this." "The humans do," Captain Kim replied calmly. Choi Min coordinated the attack with tactical precision that was only possible because of the Dauntless's advanced computer systems. The ship's artificial intelligence calculated optimal firing solutions while accounting for the quantum uncertainties created by their own defensive systems. 8 ships remaining, she reported. "They're trying to retreat into the asteroid field." "Don't let them escape," Kim ordered. "These pirates have caused enough suffering." The Dauntless pursued the fleeing pirates through the asteroid field, its quantum navigation systems allowing it to phase through the floating rocks as if they weren't there. The pirate ships had to maneuver carefully around the asteroids, giving the human vessel every advantage one by one. The remaining pirate ships were eliminated, not destroyed, but simply convinced by quantum manipulation to stop existing. Within minutes, the entire Crimson Fleet had been reduced to empty space and confused sensor readings. Captain Korvash's ship was the last one remaining. The Vorthon destroyer fled deeper into the asteroid field, its captain desperately trying to find somewhere to hide from. The hyperspace tunnel collapsed as the Dauntless emerged in the Kalari colonial territory, a cluster of young worlds where refugees from the Galactic Wars had built new homes. The rescued prisoners aboard the ship pressed against the windows to see their destination, relief evident on their faces. "Welcome to New Kalara," Captain Kim announced over the ship's communication system. "You're safe now." The young Kalari female who had lost her family began crying again, but these were tears of joy. Through the transparent aluminum windows, she could see a blue and green world that looked like paradise compared to the slave compartments of the pirate ship. "Sir," reported Yoon Sol from communications, "we're receiving a priority transmission from Earth Command. Admiral Park wants to speak with you immediately." Kim nodded. "Put it through to my ready room. Choi Min, you have the bridge." The captain's ready room was small and simply furnished, but like everything else on the Dauntless, it contained hidden technology. As Kim activated the communication system, a holographic figure appeared in the center of the room. Admiral Park Sung, commander of all human naval forces, looked tired but determined. "Captain Kim," the admiral said, "I've been receiving some very interesting reports about your recent activities." "Just doing our job, sir." Admiral Park smiled. "Destroying the entire Keleth Empire fleet and eliminating the Crimson Pirates in the same week? I'd say you're exceeding expectations. How is the galaxy reacting to the news?" "That's why I'm calling. We've intercepted communications from every major power in this sector. The Hegemony Council has called an emergency session to discuss the human threat. The Vorthon Empire is demanding to know how we developed reality manipulation weapons, and the Kalari Assembly wants to negotiate a formal alliance with Earth." Kim leaned back in his chair. "What are our orders?" "Continue your patrol, but be prepared for escalation. Some species are responding to fear with aggression. Our intelligence suggests that at least 3 different empires are planning coordinated attacks on human colonies." "Which empires?" "The Zephyrians, the Mordak Hegemony, and surprisingly the Altarian Republic. They've apparently decided that humanity represents an existential threat that must be eliminated before we develop even more advanced weapons." Kim considered this information. "How many ships are they planning to send?" "Combined, nearly 800 warships. They're calling it Operation Final Dawn. The idea is to strike every human colony simultaneously before we can deploy more ships like the Dauntless." "Do they know about the other 11 ships in our fleet?" "We don't think so. As far as they know, the Dauntless is the only ship of its kind. They're gambling that they can overwhelm one superweapon with sheer numbers." Kim smiled grimly. They're about to learn how wrong they are. Captain, I need you to understand the magnitude of what's happening. If these three empires succeed in their attack, it will trigger the largest galactic war in over 1,000 years. Every species will choose sides, and the casualties will be in the billions. What are your orders, sir? Admiral Park's expression became deadly serious. Earth Command is authorizing you to use whatever force is necessary to prevent this war. The other 11 ships in your class are being recalled from their patrol sectors. You'll rendezvous at coordinates I'm sending to your tactical officer. A full deployment of all 12 ships? For the first time in their operational history, yes. The galaxy is about to see what happens when humanity stops hiding its capabilities. The communication ended, and Kim returned to the bridge. His crew looked up expectantly as he took his command chair. Choi Min, what's our status on delivering the rescued prisoners? Kalari Orbital Control has cleared us for immediate landing at New Kalara Spaceport. The colonial government is sending medical teams to meet our passengers. Good. Complete the transfer as quickly as possible. We have new orders. As the Dauntless descended toward the planet's surface, Kang Do asked, Captain, is something wrong? You look concerned. Not wrong exactly, but the galaxy is about to become a much more dangerous place. The passenger transfer took only 2 hours. The rescued beings were met by medical teams and refugee assistance workers who would help them rebuild their lives. The young Kalari female approached Captain Kim before leaving the ship. Thank you, she said in heavily accented Galactic Common. You gave me back my life. Use it well, Kim replied. And remember that there are others out there who need help. She nodded and walked down the gangway toward her new life of freedom. Once the passengers were safely delivered, the Dauntless lifted off from New Kalara and accelerated toward the rendezvous coordinates. As they traveled through hyperspace, Kim called a meeting of his senior staff. 800 enemy ships, Dr. Seobin said after Kim explained the situation. Even with our technology, those are difficult odds. Not if we're smart about it, Choi Min replied. Our quantum disruptors can eliminate multiple targets with each shot if we create cascade effects. Park Hana looked thoughtful. The real question is whether we want to reveal the full extent of our capabilities. Once we deploy 12 ships like the Dauntless, every species in the galaxy will know that humans have been hiding a significant fleet. That's probably for the best, Li Tay said. Let them know exactly what they're dealing with. The Dauntless emerged from hyperspace at the rendezvous point, a barren system on the edge of human space. One by one, 11 other ships appeared around them. To outside observers, they looked like a small patrol fleet of ordinary human frigates, but Kim knew that these 12 vessels represented the most advanced technology in the galaxy. Captain, announced Yoon Sol, we're receiving a transmission from the fleet commander. The main screen activated to show Captain Lee Sun, commander of the HSS Relentless. She was older than Kim, with gray hair and the steady gaze of someone who had seen too much combat. Captain Kim, she said, I assume you've been briefed on Operation Final Dawn? Yes, ma'am. 800 ships planning to attack our colonies simultaneously. The timeline has been moved up. Our intelligence indicates the attack will begin in 18 hours. The enemy fleets are already moving toward their targets. Kim felt his crew tense around him. 18 hours was barely enough time to reach the nearest human colony, let alone all of them. What are our orders, Captain Lee? We're splitting into 4 groups of 3 ships each. Each group will respond to one of the major attack formations. The goal is not just to defeat them, but to do it so decisively that no other species will consider attacking humanity for generations. The tactical display showed the positions of the enemy fleets. The Zephyrian Armada was moving toward the agricultural colonies in the Centauri sector. The Mordak ships were targeting the industrial worlds of the Beta Epsilon system. The Altarian fleet was heading for the research stations in the Outer Rim. The Dauntless, Relentless, and Intrepid will handle the Zephyrian fleet, Captain Lee continued. They have the largest force, nearly 300 ships. Kim nodded. We'll be ready. Remember, Captain, the entire galaxy will be watching this battle. Make sure they understand what it means to threaten human civilians. As the fleet prepared to divide into its attack groups, Kang Do asked, Sir, won't 3 ships be outnumbered 100 to 1? Conventional ships would be, yes, Kim replied. But we're not conventional ships. The 3 vessels assigned to intercept the Zephyrian fleet jumped to hyperspace together. During the journey, the captains coordinated their attack strategy through quantum-encrypted communications. The Zephyrians are known for their defensive formations, Captain Lee explained. They'll probably cluster their ships in a sphere formation with their heavy cruisers on the outside. Captain Yoon of the Intrepid added, "Our intelligence suggests they've developed new shield technology specifically designed to counter energy weapons. They think that will protect them from our quantum disruptors." Kim smiled. "They're about to learn that our weapons don't use energy in any way they understand." The 3 human ships emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the Centauri system, where the agricultural colonies were spread across 5 different worlds. The Zephyrian fleet was already there, nearly 300 ships arranged in the exact defensive formation Captain Lee had predicted. The Zephyrian vessels were elegant and deadly, shaped like silver crescents with weapons pods arranged along their curved hulls. Each ship was larger than the human frigates, and their combined firepower was enough to glass entire planets. "Human ships," came a transmission from the Zephyrian flagship. "This is Admiral Talmisha of the Zephyrian Empire. You are outnumbered 100 to 1. Surrender immediately, and we will allow your colonies to evacuate before we claim these worlds for the Empire captain." Lee replied for the human fleet. "Admiral, this is Captain Lee, son of the human space navy. You have entered human space with hostile intent. Withdraw immediately or face the consequences." Admiral Talmisha's laughter echoed across the communication channel. 3 small ships against my entire fleet? Human, your bravery is admirable, but your tactics are suicidal. We'll see about that. Zephyrian fleet began moving into attack formation, their ships spreading out to surround the 3 human vessels. It was a classic encirclement maneuver designed to prevent any possibility of escape. "All ships," Captain Lee transmitted to her small fleet. 6 months had passed since the Battle of 3 Fleets, as historians were already calling it. The galaxy had changed in ways that no one could have predicted. Captain Kim Woo stood in the observation lounge of the Dauntless, watching the bustling activity at Harmony Station, the newest diplomatic facility in known space. The station was a marvel of cooperative engineering, built by 12 different species working together for the first time in galactic history. Ships from across the galaxy docked peacefully at its many arms, their crews conducting trade and diplomacy without the fear of piracy or military aggression that had plagued this region for decades. "Captain," said Kang Do, who now wore the insignia of a full lieutenant after proving himself in several dangerous missions, "the hegemony delegation has arrived. They're requesting a formal meeting with you." Kim nodded. "Any idea what they want to discuss?" "According to their diplomatic notes, they want to propose a joint research project. Something about advancing the cause of galactic peace through technological cooperation." Dr. Seobin looked up from his latest research reports. "Captain, I've been analyzing the requests we've received from various species. 67 different governments have asked for human assistance with military threats, scientific problems, or humanitarian crises. And how many of those requests involve situations where humans actually need to intervene?" "About 12. The rest appear to be fishing expeditions, trying to learn more about our technology or get us involved in local political disputes." Park. Hana walked into the observation lounge carrying a datapad filled with engineering reports. "Sir, I've been getting some interesting requests from alien engineers. They want to know if we'd be willing to share basic space-folding technology for civilian applications." "What kind of applications?" "Cargo transport mostly. If civilian ships could carry cargo in folded space, it would revolutionize galactic commerce. A single freighter could carry the goods of an entire trade fleet." Kim considered this. "What's Earth Command's position on technology sharing?" "Admiral Park's orders are clear," Choi Min replied as she joined the group. "We can share basic improvements to existing technology, but nothing that could be weaponized. The galaxy isn't ready for quantum manipulation weapons." Through the observation windows, they could see delegates from dozens of species moving through the station's corridors. Tall hegemony representatives in flowing robes walked alongside short, energetic Kalari traders. Fourth-hand diplomats with their distinctive blue skin discussed trade agreements with crystalline beings whose names Kim couldn't pronounce. "Sir," said Yunsol from the communication station, "we're receiving a priority message from Earth. It's marked for your eyes only." Kim returned to his ready room, where the holographic image of Admiral Park appeared once again. But this time, the Admiral was not alone. Standing beside him was an elderly human woman in civilian clothes. "Captain Kim," Admiral Park said, "I'd like you to meet Dr. Chen Wei, the director of the Quantum Research Initiative." The woman stepped forward. "Captain, I've been following the reports of your missions with great interest. Your field tests of our experimental technology have exceeded all expectations. Thank you, ma'am. The equipment has performed flawlessly, which brings me to why I'm here. The success of the Dauntless-class ships has convinced the Earth government to authorize the next phase of our research program." Admiral Park activated a holographic display showing ship designs that made Kim's eyes widen. "Captain, we're beginning construction of humanity's first true battleship. The HSS Prometheus will be 10 times larger than the Dauntless and equipped with technology that makes your current weapons look primitive." Dr. Chen smiled. "We're calling it the Reality Engine. Instead of simply eliminating matter, it can restructure space-time itself. The ship will be able to create new star systems or eliminate existing ones." Kim felt a chill run down his spine. "Ma'am, that sounds like a weapon capable of destroying entire civilizations, or creating new worlds for refugees and colonists," she replied. "The technology is neutral. How we use it depends on humanity's wisdom." Admiral Park leaned forward. "Captain, the construction of the Prometheus is classified at the highest levels. Only 12 people in the entire galaxy know about it. You're the 13th. Why are you telling me this, sir?" "Because we need field data on large-scale quantum manipulation before we test the Reality Engine. Your ship will be conducting some special missions over the next few months." The communication ended, leaving Kim with more questions than answers. He returned to the observation lounge where his crew was still discussing the various diplomatic requests they had received. "Captain," said Li Te, "you look troubled. Bad news from Earth?" "Not bad, exactly. Just complicated." Before Kim could explain further, an alarm sounded throughout the ship. Choi Min rushed to her tactical station as emergency signals filled the communication channels. "Captain, we're receiving a distress call from the Outer Rim colonies. Something about an unknown threat that appeared out of nowhere." Kim hurried to the bridge where the main screen showed a star map of the affected region. "What kind of threat?" "Unknown, sir. The colonial authorities are describing ships unlike anything in our databases. They appeared without warning and began attacking civilian targets." Dr. Seo Bin analyzed the incoming data. "Captain, the energy signatures from these unknown ships are unlike anything we've seen before. They're not using technology from any known species." "How many ships?" "At least 50, possibly more. They seem to be organized and purposeful, not random raiders." Kim made a decision. "Set course for the Outer Rim at maximum speed. Send a message to the other ships in our fleet. We may need backup." As the Dauntless jumped to hyperspace, the crew prepared for what might be their most challenging mission yet. The unknown attackers had appeared from outside known space, bringing technology that might be more advanced than anything in the galaxy. The ship emerged from hyperspace at the edge of the new Terra system, where human colonists had been building settlements for the past decade. But instead of the peaceful farming communities they expected to find, the crew of the Dauntless saw something horrifying. The orbital stations were burning. Several small colonies on the planet's surface showed massive explosion craters. And, moving through the system were ships that looked like nothing anyone had ever seen. They were organic in appearance, grown rather than built. Their hulls rippled with bioluminescent patterns and they moved through space like living creatures swimming through water. Each ship was roughly the size of a human cruiser, but their weapons were unlike anything in the galactic databases. "Captain," reported Li Te, "those ships are firing some kind of energy that converts matter into a different form. It's not destruction, it's transformation." "Transformation into what?" "Unknown. But whatever they're turning our buildings into, it's not recognizable as any known material." Kim opened a communication channel to the unknown ships. Attention unknown vessels. This is Captain Kim Woo of the Human Space Navy. You are attacking civilian targets in violation of all galactic laws. Explain your actions immediately. The response came in a form of communication that bypassed their normal systems entirely. The words appeared directly in their minds, spoken in perfect galactic common, but with an alien cadence that made everyone on the bridge uncomfortable. We are the harvesters. We reclaim what was taken. This space belonged to us before your species learned to walk upright. We have returned to restore the natural order. Kim felt a chill as the alien voice continued, inside his head. You speak of laws, small creature. We are the law. We shaped this galaxy before your son was born. Dr. Seo Bin ran emergency scans on the crew. Captain, that communication method is affecting our brain chemistry. Whatever they're doing, it's not natural telepathy. Can you block it? Working on it, sir. The organic ships began moving toward the Dauntless, their bioluminescent patterns shifting to deep red. As they approached, more details became visible. The ships weren't just organic in appearance. They were alive, breathing, pulsing, growing, as they moved through space. Those aren't ships, Park Hana whispered. They're creatures, spacefaring life forms that someone has turned into weapons. The lead harvester creature focused its attention on the human vessel. You carry the stench of reality manipulation, small ones. You play with forces you do not understand. We will cleanse you of this corruption. Kim realized they were facing something completely outside their experience. All stations prepare for combat. Lee Tae, charge quantum disruptors. Sir, weapons are ready, but I'm getting strange readings. These creatures exist partially outside normal space-time. Our targeting systems are having trouble locking on. The first harvester attacked, firing a beam of energy that seemed to twist space itself. Where it struck the Dauntless's shields, reality began to change. The quantum phase generators struggled to maintain the ship's dimensional stability. They're using some kind of anti-quantum weapon, Park Hana reported. It's designed to collapse quantum states back into normal matter. Can our shields hold? For now, but not indefinitely, Kim made a quick decision. Fire quantum disruptors full spread. The Dauntless's weapons struck the lead harvester, but instead of vanishing like every other enemy they had faced, the creature simp